Hi, in this clip I'm going to go through idioms, okay? Now an idiom is a word or a phrase whose meaning cannot be understood from the literal interpretation of each word. They can be expressions, words, phrases whose meanings are quite figurative. Now they can be quite challenging for children to learn, but they do form a fantastic basis for oral discussion in the classroom. Now there's thousands of idioms in the English language. They are fun, they're great to insert into any conversation, like break a leg. I don't actually want you to break a leg. I'm in fact just wishing you best of luck or good luck on something. Now they are embedded in culture, they're really interesting, they're a natural and basic part of life, and they actually show a pupil's proficiency in the English language when used, okay? The first thing I would do if I was starting idioms now with the children is to let them understand that idioms are these phrases or proverbs or sayings that are in all different cultures, and that they can be difficult to understand if you're trying to interpret them word for word. So I will go through with them the meaning of the word, culture, proverbs, sayings, and the word literal. Now, one of the first things that you can do is give you examples of idioms and ask the children, okay, do you want to talk at home to your parents or grandparents, take in whatever idioms that you already know and share them with the whole class. In fact, if you have other cultures in the classroom as well, it can be interesting to hear idioms and phrases from other cultures too. So that can be your first basis for discussion on idioms. And then you can ask the children then to draw a metaphorical illustration of the idiom. So for example, the cat got your tongue, you're going to draw a person maybe with a cat hanging onto the tongue, okay? I have some examples here. So these are from other pupils. So cry your eyes out, head in the clouds, and upside down, as fit as a fiddle, okay? So it gives you an idea that they have fun with that, you know, drawing the metaphorical meanings, illustrations, okay, what they grasp from an idiom. And then you can also display those illustrations. It's nice to find a little space in a hall where other pupils from other classes might be going along and display them. Display also the metaphor, the literal translation, really the interpretation of the idiom, and you can have them all mixed up. So it's like a little activity as they're passing by to try and match the illustration with the correct idiom, okay? Again, when you're finished with those illustrations, don't be throwing them away or even just giving them back to the pupils. You could staple them together and make a little idiom book, hang that in your language corner, and again, still hanging there for when your new pupils from next year come into your class, that you can use it as an introduction to idioms as well. Now, you can have your idiom of the week, just the same as you had the tongue twister of the week. In fact, I put my idiom of the week and tongue twister of the week together, okay? So I do my tongue twister lesson, of the week, and then I follow that with the idiom of the week after that. So I tie them in together, the one little lesson. It's up to you when you want to do that. Also, when they have a bank of idioms as well, you can have lots of different games with them. The pupils can select a card from the box and they could do a mime or they could do a drama with it. Also, you could get them to make sure that they understand the meaning of the idiom and that they can put it in the correct context in a sentence. I usually ask them to give me a sentence. As well, the children have fun with giving a sentence that is completely inappropriate, okay? Oh, Mummy's delighted with her presents. She thinks it's wonderful. She can't wait to go on holidays. She's crying her eyes out. Oh, maybe that could work, possibly. She could be crying her eyes out with delight. But they can try and put the idiom into a sentence where it doesn't make sense and get someone else to correct it. Can be a challenging task, okay? Now, when you know that they can create these sentences and have the idiom in there in the correct context, then you can expand it then to creating stories, okay? Little idiom stories. Now, I have a little example here from one of our pupils, okay? Go back a few years now. I'll put it up. Now, you can take a screenshot of that, move it back to get the whole thing. Okay, I'm only just going to read a little bit of it, okay? One glorious day, I was going to a fun park. When I hopped into the car, it started to rain cats and dogs. I was livid. Dad insisted that the rain would soon stop, so we travelled on. After a while, the rain did subside, and I was over the moon. Okay, now if you pause the video there, you'll be able to read the rest of it yourself, but it gives you an insight of how you can create the idioms and put them into stories. Now, you might want the children just to work on whatever idioms that they know already, to put them in. You might want to help other pupils by putting a list of some idioms you've already covered on the board, but you can give the children free rein here because it depends on what direction their story will go. Now, don't forget comparisons or idioms as well. These are also in the tip of the tongue manual, okay? So you have 50 idioms in the junior box, 100 100 in the middle box and 100 in the senior box, but in the manual there's also some comparison idioms, like as sly as a fox, as slippery as an eel, as fresh as a daisy. And there's also some number idioms in there as well, like talking 19 to the dozen, dressed up to the nine. Can't think of some others at the top of my head, but they're also in the manual. Now the meanings of all the different idioms are also in the manuals as well. And the reason for this, because I know some idioms are quite simple to understand, like bee in your bonnet, butterflies in my stomach, raining cats and dogs, and that's a type of idioms that's in the junior box, okay? But by the time you come through to the senior boxes, they do get quite more complicated, you know, when they're trying to gain the meanings. So I'll just read some. Take the bull by the horns, put my neck on the line, fish for compliment, burn the midnight oil, people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, burst your bubble, snug as a bug on a rug, you reap whatever you sow, keep your friends close but your enemies closer, chief, cook and bottle washer, and you get the idea. Oops, sorry, you get the idea. So I do have the meanings for all those different idioms there as well. So that's basically it there for the idioms. Now, if you're trying to fit it into the OR language curriculum, it can fit into the number 12, the playful and creative use of language, okay? Because if you look along the milestones there, you'll see reference to the use of figurative language, which with what idioms would be, okay? So hopefully that gets you started in some activities with idioms.